Drop it down a gear and let's hear the VTEC. Awesome. Challenging spirit is a core value of Honda. In 1986, Honda was the first Japanese automaker to launch a premium brand in America called Acura. Sporty models like the Integra, Legend, and iconic NSX took powered by Honda vehicles to the next level of innovation. And the Acura badge was actually inspired by calipers, denoting precision. So it's not surprising that Acura fans show their loyalty to precision-crafted performance by owning more than one. But what about 8 classic Acuras all at once?
It didn't start as a collection idea. I really had gotten to a point with the 6-speed coupe that I thought maybe it was on its last leg. And so I sought out and purchased a matching 4-door sedan. So those 2 cars have now grown and multiplied into 8, and I don't know when the end is near. I'm still having issues with this. This is my '94 Acura Legend GS. This is a sedan that only came with the 6-speed manual for 2 model years, 1994 and 95.
What do we got over here?
So this is a bit of an oddball Acura. The Acura Vigor was only made for 3 model years. This is Acura's only 5-cylinder powertrain.
A 5-cylinder?
Yeah. And if you get a look at it inside here, it's a 2.5 liter with 176 horsepower. It's quite fun to drive. It's very nimble. So this right here is my '92 Integra GS, and unlike my other cars, this one's actually a low miler. This is 73,000 original miles in Torino red. It's a GS trim level with the 5-speed manual. Of all the cars, it probably feels most true to its original 1992 upbringing. There's no denying that I would love to own one of every model from every year in the 1990s.
And of course the iconic first-gen NSX.
Oh man, this was my poster car from my upbringing. I set a goal in my head. I wanted one of these by the time I was 30 years old. So I worked toward it, and I pulled the trigger just 2 weeks prior. That's more like it.
Sounds like a Formula One car.
Yeah, well, it was designed by folks who built those, so here we are. And 113,000 miles on it. You know, I'm not afraid to drive this thing. A lot of people who buy exotic cars and supercars just like to look at them in the garage, but I bought this thing with 80,000 miles on it already. I've had no fear of taking it wherever I need to take it.
These are all drivers. They don't just sit around and be polished, right? Most of them have over 100,000.
Absolutely.
Some 200,000.
And some over 5.
Oh boy, we got to see that one.
Driving an Acura, mechanical reliability is kind of in the back of your head, not to be worried about. This is a 2013 ILX. Despite the fact that it looks pretty new, this also has 213,000 miles on it.
Wow. So 200,000 miles, and this is the one that you took way up to, was it the Arctic?
To the Arctic Circle in Alaska before,
Wow.
yeah.
Any issues along the trip?
Didn't even pop the hood once. It was
Cool.
solid.
All right, so tell us about this little mint relic right here.
This is, now let me correct you on the color, that's Aztec green, Charles.
And this is the GSR spec car.
Exactly, so it's a 1.7 liter B17 motor, and this one's got 250,000 miles on it as well.
Jeez.
So it's been a really solid driver. For me, Acura brand is not necessarily just the reliability and the performance, but it's the community around it. The NSX annual event, the Legend annual events, these events that bring people together as a family.
Hey Tyson, this picks up pretty good.
Yeah, for a little 1.7 liter, it's not too bad. You got to remember, this is from 1992, so the performance standards were a little bit different than they are in 2019.
What's the red line on this?
8,000 straight up.
Wow. Well, it's got 250,000 miles on it. I have not heard one rattle or squeak. This thing's pretty tight.
You know, this car, for having 250,000 miles on it, definitely doesn't show its age.
It's never been rebuilt.
No, this is the factory original B17. That was a GSR specific drivetrain.
Awesome. I love this thing. You talked about the crown jewel. Tell us about this car.
Yeah, so this is my tried and true 1994 Legend LS. This is also a 6-speed manual, so it's essentially a mechanical twin to the GS sedan on the end of the row. but with a lot more miles. I've had this one for 16 years and it's got just a little over 565,000 on it.
500,000?
Yep. I think anybody who puts 500,000 miles on their car has an in-tune sense of understanding their car. 7 timing belts, 4 radiators, 4 windshields, and it's been on a tow truck 1 time.
Oh, wow. And when was the last time you drove this car?
I think it's been a couple weeks, so you want to take it out?
Can we?
Yeah, let's go. This is the legend that will never die.
I hear no squeaks and rattles, which is good in a new car, let alone one with 500,000+ miles on it.
The big enchilada trip was definitely Alaska ×2. So we're talking about from here in Phoenix, Arizona, it's about an 8,000 mile round trip. You'd see these truck drivers just eyeballing us like, are you guys, do you know where you're going? I took my dad with me and we made it a little father-son excursion. At the end of the day, those trips were both flawless from a mechanical sense. So clearly I have no problem taking a high mileage car on a road trip. Each car has become a part of me and an expression of me, so it's tough to say, but if I had to pick one car and liquidate the collection except for this one, it would definitely just be that Legend Coupe. I've had it for 16 years and it's been to 37 states with me, and there's way too many memories to part with. Truly, the thing that really compels me to hang on to them is their low cost of ownership and good return on investment. My Acuras reliably start every time I turn the key, no matter how many miles are on them, and that's not something you could put a price on.
Tyson drives the heck out of these classic Acuras. The Legend's got 560K on it, NSX 113K, and the Integra over 250,000 miles. So if you have a high mileage Honda or Acura and you're thinking of taking a super long cross-country road trip, just think of Tyson.
And I say go for it, because they're just getting broken in.
All right.